Hello, and welcome to Oracle Cloud GL Training. Today's session will be on how to run the account analysis report. So the account analysis report is a report that contains a lot of information for both accounts payable and general ledger that make up the balances in your GL. So as always, I'm starting from the home area, and you can get there by clicking on the home icon up here at the upper right hand part of the screen. Once you do that, you'll see all of the tiles that you have access to. What you want to do here, since this is a canned report, you want to go into an area that we call scheduled processes. And to get there, you click on Tools. And then under Tools, you'll see a bunch of different things. And you want to click on the one that says Scheduled Processes. And once you get there, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. This is similar to EBS, where you run your jobs. So what you do is, to run the account analysis report or any of the canned reports or jobs, you click on Schedule New Process. And once you do that, you're going to have this drop down. You want to click on the drop down first. Don't be tempted to type the name in. It's easier to pick your job this way, to click on the drop down first and then hit the search at the bottom. If you don't see the search at the bottom, you may need to scroll. Once you're in here, this is where you want to put in your criteria for your search. So just type in account analysis or any part of the name and hit search. And you'll see anything that meets that search criteria pop up. You want to pick the one that says account analysis report. Just make sure it's highlighted in blue and then hit OK. And then hit OK again. And here's where you're going to come up with your parameters for the report. So what you want to do here is you want to make sure that the subledger application field is blank. That's probably the most important thing that you could forget to do, because it automatically comes up with the first one on the list. You want to make sure it's blank. And you want to pick your ledger. So whichever ledger you want to run this for, go ahead and pick it. I'm going to run it for USD. And then you want to pick your accounting periods from and to. So I'm going to pick, I'm just typing it in. You could pick the drop down if you want. I'm going to do it from January 20 through March 20. And then you can either choose to include accounts with no activity or not. I'm gonna say no to that, because I don't want any blank rows. But you could say yes if you wanted to see what accounts are out there. And then to filter your data, you need to click on this little filter icon here. So go ahead and click on that. And then instead of the fields being exposed directly, Oracle decided to have you add the fields that you can choose from. So click on the Add Fields button here, and then you can choose what segment values you want to filter out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first pick my company code, and then I only want to run my report for company 16. So I'm going to click on my drop down, and I'm going to choose, I could hit the search here and choose 16. I could have typed this in directly as well if I wanted to. So I'm choosing 16, and then I also want to choose a cost center. So I'm going to click on the Add Fields. I'm going to choose Cost Center. And this time I'm just going to type it in. I know my cost center. And I want to also choose account. So I'm going to click on Add Fields again, choose account, and I know the account I want to run this for is 76503. So I chose my company, my cost center, and my account. I'm going to hit OK. So just to kind of summarize here, I made sure the subledger application was blank, put in my ledger, put in my months, said no to the include accounts with no activity. I put in my filter conditions, and then just to hit the ones up here. So if I wanted to get an email notification when this thing is done, I could click on this. So if I wanted to, I could click on notify me when this is done. Okay, some of the other things I can do here, if I click on advanced, and this goes for any schedule process, not just the account analysis report. We already hit the parameters, but if I wanted to schedule this, I could, hit the schedule tab here, and I could either run it as soon as possible, which is the default, or I could use a schedule. So I could schedule this to run once at a certain time that I could put in here, or I could schedule this to run every day, every week, every month by just, if I wanted to do it monthly, I could just put in a schedule here as to when, what week or day of the month. So you could schedule it if you want. The output, you don't need to mess around with this output one, because I'm going to show you the output in a minute. And then notification, if you wanted to notify somebody else, you've already notified yourself, but if you wanted to notify somebody else, you could click on this little plus guy here and put in a recipient, and then you can notify that person on these three conditions. So whether it's on success, on warning, or on error. All right, so you can do that if you want. I think for the most part, you're going to want to run it when you need it, so you probably won't need to use these, but if you do, they're here. Maybe schedule, maybe something you want to use. But anyway, they're there for you to use. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this. And then, oops. Yep, I'm going to go ahead and submit this for as soon as possible. So the job has been submitted, and now you can kind of monitor your job just like in EBS by you could just click on this refresh button. So it's running now. I'm going to go on pause now until it finishes, and then we'll open it up. Okay, so once you see your job light up with the status of succeeded, the one tip you don't want to do is you don't want to click on the word succeeded, because it doesn't show you anything. So what you want to do is, make sure you have your job highlighted, and then come down to where it says republish and go ahead and click on that. And then there's going to be two tabs. The first one is the canned report, and the other one is the one that we modified for Kaplan. So you want to make sure you're looking at the one that says Kaplan GL account analysis. This is the one that is defaulted, so it should always be defaulted to be at that one. And then what you want to do now is you want to click on this little wheel and export it to Excel. Okay, so now it's going to be in your download area here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And your report is now in Excel, and you can now do whatever analysis you need to do on it. You can see which columns are here. So one thing to keep in mind is the payables detail is here. So if I look at this row right here, you can see it has all of the chart of accounts information. And then if it is a subledger source payables, in this case, you'll see that it has the supplier and the transaction number, which is the invoice number, and the line information, and pretty much everything you guys need to know about the accounts payable information. So this will have both the AP and GL information in it. And it's an Excel spreadsheet, so you can save it, do whatever you want to with it from this point forward. All right, so that is running the account analysis report. Thank you very much.